Oh, man. It's that time again. Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Gonna stream for a bit today. We got some reacts. Gonna chat, gonna hang out. Maybe play some golf. Maybe do some things. Just catch up. I gotta get back to once a week at least. Right now I'm job hunting a lot, so I can't like stream that much, but it's all right. What's going on? Zimmer, what's going on? We got 2 chats going, by the way, so if you see me talking to someone else and you're like, I don't see the chat, that's why. There's a vertical and a horizontal on YouTube. So that's what we're gonna do. Xbox is supposedly failing in the worst position ever, which, you know, isn't really true. People want it to be true so bad, but it's not. So we're gonna watch a few videos. There's one called Gaming is Doomed. We're gonna watch some fun stuff like Dr. Disrespect reactions. A lot of different things I have, and so we can start with a little Halo Infinite. This one kind of struck my fancy because it was Mint Blitz saying, you know, what is 343 doing? And there's something going on with the weapons. I have no clue. But I think it's always good to at least, you know, check in once a week on Halo Infinite and just see, you know, just see how fun it is over there at 343 and how much of a good time they're having. So, not going to waste much time here.
Infinite to the class, and you're goddamn right it is.
We're gonna get into this. All right. I still like Infinite better than COD. Yeah, I mean, me too. I would probably play Infinite before Call of Duty. I mean, you're not wrong there, brother.
What is...
You are not wrong there. Let me pause this music. This fire music. All right, so this is Mint Blitz. What is 343 doing? As you guys know, I like to check in once a week on Halo Infinite. See what's going on. Mint Blitz posts like 5 videos a week, and so I picked out 1 or 2. See what the heck is going on with Infinite. This one, I have no clue what this is about. It's something about the weapons, so we'll see what's going on here.
Is 343 doing? Delta on Twitter posted all of these upcoming cosmetic weapons, and by God, we are going to talk about it. I laughed on my last Halo video because you guys did the Jimmy Neutron meme saying, Remy, this is the 187th time you've spoken about Halo Infinite to the class. And you're goddamn right it is, because I
Well, dude, that's his game. That's his game. What do you mean?
care way too much about Halo, you guys, and the overall franchise as a whole to go quietly into the night and not voice my concerns about this. So we have all these brand new cosmetics coming to the game. They're probably
I love that
$30
gun.
a bunch, and I just think it is such a missed opportunity to not have variants of the weapons we know and love put into the game with these skins. And I know what you're going to say, well, Remy, putting a new free weapon into the game doesn't make them money, but a $30 skin does. I do not care, I'm saying it anyway. Here is what I thought of the cosmetic weapons, and these are the weapons I would make. The brand new Spanker rocket launcher. It fires 1 rocket only. It has a massive blast radius. Awesome weapon, doesn't need a heap of balancing, whack that in the game. The brand new Commando, it fires
so like the original
carbine shots. That's right, it's going to be a carbine. Fitting the green theme on screen, it is a UNSC reverse engineered carbine with a slower rate of fire, higher damage output, semi-automatic, get it in the game. The brand new Banished battle rifle, I thought it should be a Gears of War tie-in. That's right, Gears of War. You got the bayonet on the front, make it like a hammerburst burst, whack it in the game. And then the new Hydra. I love
Whack
how
it in
this
the
looks.
game.
It's kind of like an assault rifle. Make it like the Warzone Halo 5 variant Hydra. It shoots super fast. It has a lot of range. Whack it in the
hate
game.
the Hydra.
You could even take it a step further. And a lot of you guys pointed out this very same thing. The stanchion sniper rifle skin, the one you guys see me using all the time, which in the lore is like an anti-vehicle sniper rifle, that should be its own weapon. The classic assault rifle.
You know none of this is gonna happen, right? Like is this what they call cope? Like we know we're aware of the reality of like they're done with this game, right? Like they're just squeezing it. Like do we know that? We know that, right? He knows that. Remy is not dumb. He knows this.
Rifle skin with the bigger mag, that should be its own weapon. All of these different variants
it's just
probably
hurting
should
for
have been their
content.
own weapons, but that's not going to bring in any money, so I am willing to meet them in the middle. Some new weapons, some cosmetics, a mixture of both, but not completely cosmetic only, and I feel very strongly about that. I have made the comparison before. Halo 5 had so many different weapons. Purely
So
because
many!
The rec packs needed new weapons.
Halo 5 had so many weapons. So many. And it's crazy to think that the newest game we got had like less than half. It had like no weapons. Nothing. It just had nothing. It was so bare bones, and it's still so bare bones. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that they can go like so far and have like Warzone with all these cool weapons, and it's just like a fun mode, it's whatever, and jeez, do
It
it.
made them money to make new weapons, and yet now that it doesn't, well, I don't have to say anything else, do I? And I know what you're thinking, Remy, they can't even add anything else to the game. Why would they add this? Because you're charging a premium for cosmetics. That is it in a nutshell. And I don't mean to rant, I'm really not meaning to rant, but there's even modders
You're not ranting.
who are changing the values of certain weapons, and they're making their own versions of Halo Infinite. By 343 changing these values, you could literally make these weapons. Increase the rate of fire, increase the range, change the damage output, get the community to test it, put it in a workshop test playlist, see what the community thinks. And watching this video, you're probably like, wow Remy, you've given this a lot of thought. Damn right I have. Sure, Halo Infinite is reaching the end of its life cycle. It's very likely the Falcon and the banished double barrel shotgun is going to go into the next game, and 343 is going to save it for then. Uber Nick did a fantastic video saying Halo Infinite is worth your time because there's so many amazing playlists to play, but it's not worth your money because you are just going to lose everything when the new game comes out. I pray that 343 realizes how much people have spent and at least allows you
But
to
your
bring
time
your
is your
cosmetics
money.
across so you can enjoy them on whatever game comes next. And that could be a whole different video topic. I only want cosmetics to transfer over for you guys so you can use them still. But if Halo isn't free to play anymore and it's $60 for a AAA,
I don't know. I have no expectation of cosmetics transferring over. That's never really been a thing in Halo. So to want that is kind of like whatever, you know? I've never expected any cosmetics, any armor that I've unlocked or anything to just carry over. Like, I'm happy to just get the next game, have all the content in there, and unlock it again. I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
game, it very well may not transfer over. What I can tell you with 100% certainty, whatever comes next, it's gonna have microtransactions because of how much money the rec packs from Halo 5 and the cosmetics from Halo Infinite made. But more than that, I just think new weapons would be cool. The positives would be fantastic. It would breathe some life into the game while 343 works on some other stuff, or whatever Certain Affinity's doing with their new Halo game as well. People would be so psyched about that. And with 50,000 concurrent players at peak every day, capitalize on that. Do not try and milk your players for everything they are worth, because
that's what they're doing. That's 100% what they're doing. You think don't do? We've all been saying don't do this. They're doing it anyways. They don't care. They don't.
is the people who are still playing Halo, creating content on Halo, doing Twitch streams about Halo. Love the series. They're the core Halo fans, and I do not want to see them taken advantage of. It's pure and simple. That's all I had to say today. There I was sitting at the kitchen table having breakfast, and I was like, those cosmetics for the pre-existing guns would make awesome new weapons. And sure, it's probably not going to happen, but I've thrown my hat in the ring. I've said my thoughts. I didn't even touch on today all of the bugs with the new networking model. What I will say is
Oh,
super combine from a needler, the instant kill explosion does
all the
not
bugs
even kill you anymore, and it's based on connection. And that's it. That's all I had to say today.
Dude, wait, what?
Is a super combine from a needler, the instant kill explosion does not even kill you anymore, and it's based on connection. And that's it. That's all I had to say today. Halo Infinite.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Awesome and sure, it's probably not going to happen. But I've thrown my hat in the ring. I've said my thoughts.
Kill?
I didn't even touch on today all of the bugs with the new networking model. What I will say is a super combine from a needler, the instant kill explosion does not even kill you anymore, and it's based on connection. And that's it. That's all I had to say today. Halo Infinite needs new weapons, and it's not like the game is dead. With 40 to 50,000 concurrent players at peak daily, there is more than enough players on the game, and I believe they deserve new weapons. I didn't even mention vehicles, but throw that in too. Again, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. I don't get fired up very often, but I guess I'm just passionate about Halo. So thank you for watching. New video out tomorrow.
You are passionate, and we all appreciate it. Yo, that's actually crazy. It's the problems continue. I was thinking about this, like Halo Infinite was just this close. It was right on the edge there of potentially being my favorite Halo game of all time. I mean, it was close, guys. Like, it really could have been the dream. It could have been everything. It was so close, and then it just, like, completely fell off. Great video, though. I think it's a good idea. They're not going to do it, but...
Hey, everybody. We've got a lot to...
It's a great idea. Make sure you follow Mint Blitz if you want to keep updated on all that Halo stuff. Thumbs up the video. Great video. Crazy that the Needler doesn't kill anymore. Needler explosion. That is freaking hilarious. I think everyone is broke and everything is dying. If you're asking if Xbox, you must be even more important. Is Sony dying? That question doesn't make sense. If you spelt your wrong, asking if Xbox, you must ask an even more important question: is Sony dying? You got to retype that, brother. Xbox is dead? You think so, huh? 120 million players might argue with you. You can see the video I linked during the last stream. Oh, no. Can you link it again? Halo Infinite was the first FPS I got into for battle passes. Much respect for it. Way less grindy than other games. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's definitely less grindy, but it's so content dry that it's like hard to even get into. Okay, I want to talk about this. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but I want to talk about this here, about Xbox dying, because people are insane and crazy and ridiculous. Dun, 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 dun. I need a video that's not like 50 minutes long, though. I think IGN has something. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm going to watch this. I'm going to respond to it. I have a lot of thoughts. We did a whole podcast on it yesterday. And yeah, people are in a massive tizzy. People are just freaking out about these foreclosures of these studios. And so let's check this out, and I'll share with you some of my thoughts. Like, look at how dramatic this already is. What the hell are you doing? Anyways, let's get into this.
Our growing family of 23 studios is devoted to advancing the medium we all love. Xbox has been here for 20 years, and that's because of you. Our team strives to make Xbox a place where you'll find the greatest games, the most dedicated developers, and the most passionate community.
Where were you all those years ago when Microsoft announced its acquisition of Bethesda? I was sitting at my desk when I received the call, but
No one knows, dude. They are so dramatic. Like, okay, so as of 2023, 120 million active Xbox users, okay? Right? None of them, like, not none, but maybe like 10,000 of the 120 million even knew this acquisition happened. People have no clue. People don't care. Of the 120 million Xbox users, 119.5 million of them, they just have an Xbox in their living room, or they got an Xbox for their kid, and they play Fortnite, they play Call of Duty, they play Madden, they play FIFA, and they sit and they watch and they play, and that's all it is. So we need to first of all establish that the people who make videos and post on X and have all these hot takes and blah, 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 we, and myself included, I'm including myself in there, we are the loud, vocal minority. There is hardly anyone who cares. It is 0.0001% of Xbox players who actually notice, care, or even think about any of this stuff. So let's just get that out of the way right out of the gates. Regardless of reality narratives has already been settled upon 100%. Xbox bad and dying. Yeah. No, the Xbox tax is super real. And look, I have a PS4. I buy whatever I want to play whatever I want. Right? So I'm not like an Xbox fanboy. That's where I've played the most, but like I don't care, dude. I'm 33 years old. I'm an adult. I can buy whatever console I want. I can play whatever games I want. I can do whatever I want. I have no loyalty to any box or hardware or anything. It's like it doesn't matter. But when you look at the media and how they react, it's like, yeah, when Sony does layoffs, it's like Sony has round of unfortunate but necessary layoffs, and then Microsoft does layoffs, and it's like, it's time to stop giving Phil a pass. Xbox, what the hell are you doing? It's just like, it's all so ridiculous. Like, IGN, Kotaku, worst offenders for sure. If you go back and look at our articles, it's so obvious.
no. On a serious note, it was on September 21st, 2020, when the announcement first came through. There was shock, some confusion, and anger, but the question, could Microsoft do that? Sure, it had been acquiring development studios left and right, but an entire publisher? It was a paradigm shift, regardless of how successful Bethesda titles had been over the years, since a major player in the console wars could buy their way to exclusives. About 3.5 years later, 4 studios under Bethesda are no more. They include Arcane Austin.
I wonder why this one's no more. Huh. I wonder why Arcane is gone. Give me a break.
Known for the controversial Redfall, but also for the more positively received Prey. Tango Gameworks, lauded for Hi-Fi Rush and rumored to be developing it for the Nintendo Switch 2. Roundhouse Studios, which assisted on Redfall and is now being absorbed into ZeniMax Online Studios.
They assisted. Yo, they assist. Not a good assist there.
To work on The Elder Scrolls 6, and Alpha Dog Studios, which released the mobile game Mighty Doom.
In chat, did any of you guys play Mighty Doom? Did any of you know that game existed? Anyone in chat, did you guys know before these closures, did you know the game mobile game Mighty Doom Might Doom existed? Did anyone know? It's like, no, people don't.
Mighty Doom will be sunset on August 7th, while Redfall development has ceased, despite the latter not receiving 2 DLC characters from its Hero Pass more than a year after release. The reason, per an internal email from Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty, is the reprioritization of titles and resources. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. IGN reports that Arcane Austin was working on a big update and delivering the characters by Halloween before the announcement happened. Some members will be working on other Bethesda projects, even though the studio is no more. However, perhaps the more concerning issue is that no one, not Microsoft nor the studios, has confirmed how many employees have been laid off, especially following the 1,900 jobs cut last January.
Look, let's be very real. Anytime someone loses jobs, it's bad. Okay? Like, that's out of the gates. We always acknowledge that. I got laid off too. My job finished too. I'm literally in the same boat. So, yeah, that's not good. But to act like these studios were pumping out, Baldur's Gate 3, right? Like they're pumping out Diablo, like they're pumping out, Call of Duty. Like these aren't like premier titles. I looked in 2023, Hi-Fi Rush, it didn't even crack top 20 Xbox games. It's like, well, that's tough. Yeah, doesn't mean it's not a great game. Two things can be true at the same time. It can be an amazing, great game, great community, but it can also not be as big of a hit as they need it to be for the business. And that's where people get all messed up in the head. They think that this is some, high school passion project or something. It's like, look, this is a business. We all know what this is. Let's not act like we don't know what this is. Although I will say, I wish they would have kept those studios open and just closed down 343 and given Halo to someone else. That would have been fine with me as well.
The reaction from the industry is understandably livid. Even though fans were assured that Arcane Lion is still alive and working on its project, presumably referring to Marvel's Blade, director Dinga Bakaba has tweeted about how absolutely terrible this all is. To any executive reading this, a friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists/entertainers and help them create value for you.
You can't take care of them if you're broke. That might be, I don't know, is that a hot take? That might be a hot take. Yeah, you can't take care of anyone if you're broke. And sure, it's great that Microsoft is able to float, or Xbox is able to float some of these companies and let them pump out experiments and different games and trying things. But if they don't make money, you can't take care of artists and entertainers if your company's broke and under. And yes, you're right, Burger. In Japan studio closed in 2021. No one cared. No one cared. And right now, people are only going to care for a week. And then they're going to get back to their normal lives. People don't really care. They just like to be outraged about something.
You. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as strawmen for miscalculation/blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We have seen it before. Moon Studios founder Thomas Mahler, who recently launched No Rest for the Wicked.
So it sounds like this guy just wants Xbox to float them. Like, make us proud when times are tough. AKA, pay us when times are tough. I wonder how long they've been doing that. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, no doubt this guy probably makes 6 figures. I mean, I have no clue. I don't know what he does. Just a random Twitter user. But it's like, dude, you gotta understand it's a business. And yes, there's creative elements and everything, but they can't just print money and float it out of nowhere. It's like, what are we talking about?
Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We have seen it before.
What if
Moon
they
Studios
can't, though?
Founder Thomas Mahler, who recently launched No Rest for the Wicked in early access, also said, "To everyone who's been pestering me for years about why we didn't allow Moon Studios to get acquired by a big publisher, that's why. I've lived through the 90s and saw what happened when smaller studios got acquired by EA. Never again."
And that's true. And that's true. Like, if you don't sell, you that's part of the risk. That is 100% part of the risk. If you sell and you get acquired, shout out to a bigger company, 100%. You get, there's the potential for, unlimited upside, right? Or there's the potential if they acquire you, you get a payday, but then you're out. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly.
You could justify these closures in several ways. Redfall was a failure. Its player base was in the gutter.
Correct.
Reports of its development also weren't great, with staff citing an unclear direction and how the project could have benefited from cancellation or a reboot after Microsoft's acquisition.
Correct.
However, plenty of fingers were pointed at Microsoft as well. Why didn't it support Arcane Austin at the time? Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer would later reveal that it had supported Starfield better, but that was more for reassuring fans than confirming any shift in philosophy. Even if it didn't want to continue pouring resources into the project, one has to...
The reality is it's just so much easier to look at Microsoft, look at Xbox, and just point to the big thing in the sky and say, it's your fault. It's Xbox's fault. It's Microsoft's fault. It's Phil's fault. It's just the biggest thing that you can see to point at, right? You're not going to point at the devs. They work hard. You're not going to point at the game studios. They're doing their best. You're not going to point at anyone. You're just going to point at the biggest thing you can see. And it's not even going to, it's not personal at all. That's just the reality with people.
Ask, why shutter the entire studio? Why not invest in existing IPs like Dishonored and Prey? Furthermore, what happened to Spencer assuring everyone there are no plans to shut down the studio? Perhaps the obvious response would be...
I've seen a lot of this where people are going, he's going back on his word, or this aged poorly, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you guys are idiots. Of course they didn't go into it with the plan of, we want to shut down these studios. That'd be stupid. From a business perspective, that makes zero sense. Of course they're not going in with that plan. But that's you have a plan, and if you've ever done anything in business, no matter what type of business it is, you know that you have a plan, but then nothing ever goes according to plan, and you have to pivot, you have to adjust, you have to figure out how to make it work. And that's what Xbox is doing. Like, yeah, of course Phil is going to say, hey, our plan is to support the creativity of these studios, to support everything they're doing, to really make sure that they are set up for a win. But then it's like, oh, look, inflation is gone through the roof. Oh, look, the games aren't doing well. Oh, look, all these problems are happening. We didn't plan for this, but you know what? Now we have to figure out how to make it work. Oh, well, we're going to lose $500 million if we don't cut this fat right now. We got to cut it. This sucks, but we have to do it. Like, people just don't even have the slightest
Plans
clue about
changed,
business.
but it's still a shame. Then there's the case
Yeah,
of Tango
plans change,
Gameworks,
exactly.
which saw middling success with The Evil Within 2 and Ghostwire Tokyo, but struck gold with Hi-Fi Rush. Even if it was a Game Pass release, a new IP, and shadow dropping out of nowhere, Microsoft's
I don't think it
Aaron
was-
Greenberg said it was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. Was that not enough to save the developer? Did that not represent any value for the future?
I think this was like a good game, but I don't know. I don't think, like I said, like in 2023, I think it came out in January, but it didn't like, it hit like 3 million players. Remember what I said earlier? There's 120 million active Xbox users. So, 3 million out of 120 million. It's like, yeah, the game looks sick. Like, it's cool. I played it for a few hours. I kind of got bored and I turned it off. But that's me. Like, I understand that this game has done pretty well and people like it. But you just, my hottest take, honestly, people are saying, but Hi-Fi Rush was so good. I'm like, it was fine. I think it, like, aesthetically, it looks amazing. I think the concept, I think there's so much cool about it, but it didn't do anything for me, just me personally. So when people are like, how could you do that? They're acting like this is like, Modern Warfare 2 that they just shut down. It's like, no, this is, 3 million out of the 120 million Xbox users played this game.
Future. Was the recent PS5 release not good enough or something?
No, it wasn't.
Roundhouse Studios could be explained as working more closely with the...
Because let's be real. If this was, Pow World or some other, breakout hit, we wouldn't be talking about this right here. That studio would be expanding right now.
Elder Scrolls team, which
But
it's
the
been
money's
doing
not there.
more of lately. Alpha Dog Studios' closure may be due to Microsoft shifting away from mobile titles. However, the bigger picture of troubling leadership over the years is becoming harder to deny.
I don't think they're going to shift away from mobile titles because out of, like, 2/3 of the world's gamers are mobile gamers. There's like, I forget what the number is. Ugh. Oh, man. I got to look it up. But let's just say, for example, there's 600 million gamers, people who play video games on Earth. Out of the 600 million, 400 million are actually mobile gamers. Fun fact. It's 2/3 of the population.
Titles like State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark, Fable, Everwild, and even the third-party Contraband are nowhere to be seen, with some having reports of troubled development. Some projects like South of Midnight, OD, developed by Kojima Productions, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Starfield's Shattered Space Expansion,
Oh, yeah, what
Clockwork
happened to that
Revolution,
game?
and Stoic Studios' Towerborn are moving ahead. However, the sheer lack of updates for many of its heavy hitters for years is becoming concerning. That too, after many years of no exclusives, disappointing releases, and cancellations before the company's new era of acquisitions. Then, there's the 31% drop in Xbox hardware sales for Microsoft's Q3 2024 fiscal year, fueling further queries into how much
COVID
longer
effed
the
them up,
company
though.
will continue investing in the same, especially with its new multi-platform approach. Some could point to the fact that the company posted $61.9 billion in revenue and $21.9 billion in net income, and how Xbox's content and service revenue is up by 62%, or how Game Pass has reached 34 million subscribers, and overall gaming revenue is up 51%. However, much of the success of the gaming division is thanks to the recent acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the latter seeing a loss due to
Right.
the operating cost of integrating into Microsoft. It's also worth reiterating that despite the publisher contributing so much, it wasn't safe from layoffs. Who knows where it could go in the following months? For that matter, who's to say that any project or developer is safe? For years, public opinion has shifted on Microsoft's acquisition strategy, whether it's the lack of benefits for developers or the lack of oversight in managing them. At one point, one could have surmised that the company has nowhere to go but up in this regard, making changes and improving itself to live up to fans' expectations and make good on the people creating its titles. After this year's layoffs, it showcased an alternative: cut costs and jobs, hype up future projects, tout Game Pass subscribers, and don't look back. If all else fails, buy another publisher for billions of dollars and start afresh. Why not? The question now isn't what to look forward to from Xbox, it's whether the brand and its developers will even look the same a year or two down the line, if they're lucky to get that far. But hey, at least there's an Xbox game showcase on June 9th with the
True.
next Call of Duty to be revealed.
Maybe I'll go live for
Surely
that.
that means something, right? Hey,
Good video. Okay, here's my thing, right? This is my biggest takeaway from all the drama that's been happening on X and blah blah blah. Is all these people come in with these just lightning hot takes, you know, I'm canceling my Xbox Game Pass subscription. I'm getting rid of my Xbox. Phil needs to go. He doesn't get any more breaks. This is the final straw, blah, 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 blah. But here's my thing, okay? All of these people are acting like they know what the heck is going on, when the reality is they have no clue what in the world is going on with Xbox. They don't know. They have no clue. None of us know. We have no idea. They're coming out with these hot takes and they're acting like they have sat down with Phil, okay? They've sat down at Xbox headquarters with Phil and the whole accounting team, and they've looked at the numbers across Xbox Global, and they've seen what everyone's doing. They see how much they're making. They see how much, what the margins are, what they're paying these studios and developers, and how it's all going. They're looking at all the numbers, and then they're making a statement and a call and giving their take. When the reality is they don't know crap about anything. They're just giving their emotional take on how they think it should go. When the reality is we could look at the numbers with Phil and he could show us and be like, look, if we don't close these, we're gonna have to, shut down Blizzard in, a year's time. You know what I mean? Like, the numbers are so different than the reality. And so I think all these people, that's why I don't have like some crazy take one way or another. So I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have all the information. We don't have all the information. Yeah, we can look at sales, but we're not looking at how much everyone's getting paid too. We're not looking at all their marketing budget. Their marketing is pretty mid, to be honest. But, we're not looking at all these things. We do not have the incomplete picture. Ultimately, what's going on X and Twitter with all of this is people are giving all their hot takes and all their emotional takes about what they think about Xbox and what they think Xbox should do, while they're holding not even one piece of the puzzle. This is a 1,000-piece puzzle, and they're holding a puzzle piece that's been cut in half 5, 10 different times, and they're just holding a sliver of it. They're looking at this and like, this is what should happen. This is what we should do. This is what Xbox needs to do. And it's like, dude, you know nothing. You know nothing. You don't even have one piece of the puzzle. You have a sliver of a sliver, sperm of the sperm whale, infinitesimal speck perspective. You have just no clue what's going on. And so take everything with a grain of salt, man. They like all these hot takes. I'm As you can see, I'm like, I'm over it. I'm like, you guys don't know. We don't know. We can't say because we don't know. And the audacity to be like, I know what's going on, and this is what Xbox is wrong about, and it's like, dude, like, you don't know. You think you know. I believe you think you know, but you don't know. That's the problem. You don't know. Anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts on the whole Xbox thing? What's up, SX, Rage, Umar? Welcome, welcome. Let's watch Doc. Let's do something a little lighter. Do something a little lighter here, yeah? All right, this is Dr. Disrespect Rages Funny Moments compilation 2023. The GOAT streamer right here. This should be good. He hit himself.
This dude's fucking sprinting. Nothing. We don't get the audio.
Replicator online.
How do we not get that audio?
Boogie's out.
He's always mad
This
about
dude
audio.
is sprinting down the staircase and there's nothing.
Was there
I
audio?
need to watch the clip.
Has been recovered.
There was boom boom, his last two steps.
This dude's fucking sprinting.
Oh, he's sprinting down both staircases.
Shit.
That's so funny.
Oh, he sees me from that angle, I guess. I want to fucking back up.
This fucking game. That's what I want to do.
Oh, he's so angry.
We've got a bunch of tattletellers on our team. And I'm one of them.
One's still mid, one market.
I don't want to hear any of these guys anymore.
That's how I feel.
That's fucking unbelievable. There's no way, man. Someone send me the clip.
That looked like he got him.
Fucking cabinets. Hey, man. That's
Hold on, did he hit it? It looked like...
I don't want to hear any of these guys anymore.
His gun might have kicked up.
That's fucking unbelievable. There's no way, man. Someone send me the clip.
I love opening fucking
Cabinets and nothing in.
He's so mad.
Fuck.
What is this game? Is this Rainbow?
What are you watching, Mariado? Huh? What are you watching? Huh? Open that shit up, throw a grenade right behind the desk immediately, Mariado! Huh? On a fucking Wednesday!
Oh, God.
A fucking stupid ass character, this game. No one wants a riot shield in any game ever in first person shooter history. That's a guarantee.
Dude, riot shields are
That's a
the
guarantee.
worst.
Nobody wants a riot shield.
Okay,
in
it is
any game
Siege.
ever.
Bro, they have 3 freaking riot shield characters on their team, bro.
Crazy. It feels like we've been doing this forever.
I just can't get anything going.
I'm gonna break something!
Don't sweat it. Break something. Do whatever you do.
I'm not winning any of my fucking gunfights right now. Not winning any of them. I'm not. I need to like play deathmatch, go to the fucking shooting range, something. We're not winning fucking shit. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. I'm not. Nothing.
I've been there before. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Fully blinded. Fully blinded. Fuck. I gotta get that kill. Losing.
He's so mad. This was a bad stream.
But you still get those people in the chat. Oh God, Valorant again? Play this. Like, what the fuck do you want me to play? What is there to play? This guy's fucking strafing. I'm sitting there standing still. This guy's strafing across my screen. Just one tap.
Oh yeah,
Again.
TK.
Stay up.
Watching Doc rage in golf, the best.
Grab it! Grab it! Grab the fucking zip line!
Is this his game that he's raging about?
3!
Employees stationed in direct wing levels B1 and B2 are to follow strict decontamination procedures upon exiting the wing. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated.
He's so
Maybe that's the
mad.
fucking problem. We gotta get upset. I thought that was the beginning of the round.
He's... Oh my god.
Yeah, let's do it.
He's so pissed.
Your mic is hot. Doc says Ghost Dog LT, who just rolled into the arena. Everyone sit down, been watching the show for about 2 hours now. He gets in, he's got a microphone, he's walking down the middle of the alleyway, spotlights on him, right? He's walking all the way to the main stage with a microphone in his hand. He's going right up to me in front of everybody and says, Doc, your mic is hot. Wake up!
We're gonna figure this out. Trust me. We're gonna figure this out. Go back the street to walk down. I got no idea.
Nice. Nice drop.
Let's wake up!
Yeah, we gotta wake up.
Last player standing.
God!
One window.
How did that guy know?
Jump in live in front
This
of
is
millions
so
around
funny.
the world in the campaign early access. You can do it right now.
It took him back to the menu.
How the fuck do I play the game? How do I play this game? How? How? Just download the key and activate
Doc
it
is
through
caught
Steam.
spelled backwards.
It's activated! Minute. Right here, proceed.
What's up, Emmett?
Fuck!
Don't spam.
Oh shit. We're done. We're done. We're done with it. We're done. We're done. We're done. Get me off the game. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done.
Bro, he's so mad.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you trying. Appreciate you trying. Appreciate you trying. Thank you, Call of Duty, for giving us early access to today's Modern Warfare 3 campaign. I don't know where all the fucking stupid ass fucking things are, man. Too much. You're not even looking at me. He's not even looking.
I don't know. It looked like he was looking.
On my screen, he's looking to the right. Let me see the fucking
Clip it.
Let me see the fucking clip, man. He just looked like he was looking to the right, you know? Yeah, let's fucking game.
Alex, I talked about it for like the first 20 minutes. You can go check it out. But no, obviously it's not dying.
I feel like see you Monday, Courage. Oh, he's in the chat. I didn't know. I thought we could sneak by with that one. I guess not. Hi, Courage. Custom Dr. Disrespect headsets from Turtle Beach. Starting with the box. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this thing.
That's actually fire. Oh, that's disgusting.
It's got a limited supply as well.
So gross.
These things are always so tough. They're so tough. Sorry. Shit. Congratulations, Joe, on your signed, ripped apart Turtle Beach box live on stream on October 30th, 2023, signed by the two-time. If I see it on eBay,
Oh my God.
Trust me, I'm coming to collect my money. Your game requires a system restart to play! Dude, that is fucking bullshit, man. I gotta get aggressive right there.
Who's next?
Nice.
Holy fuck.
I gotta fucking get aggressive right there, man. Holy shit.
He
NVIDIA
gets-
installer failed. Okay, let's do a little restart, huh? How about
PC gaming, bro. This is why I can't do it. Doc is forever having problems.
restart? How about a restart? There you go, blue screen. I like that. I like that. I like that.
He's so mad.
Like that. That's good.
Did you know that chicken McNuggets come in 4
Yo,
shapes? The boot,
he's
the
so
bell,
mad.
The bow tie, and
Oh
the
my
ball.
God.
Yeah,
Stop,
shapes
stop,
aren't
stop,
random. You'll see these
stop.
shapes over and
Stop! Holy freaking A. Jeez. I hate this new YouTube crap where it's like, play the next video instantly. Give me a freaking break. Okay, give this video a thumbs up. It's good. It's good stuff right there. It's good stuff.
Did you know?
All right. This is another one on my list. This is another one on my list. The many lies of McDonald's chicken nuggets. You can disable it? Oh, dude. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that 100% because that's annoying as crap. Actually, I want to watch a Nintendo 64 video. Actually, let's go this one.
Make them yourself, you know? Why don't you get involved with like the development and all? All right, what's going on, guys? It's Chev. We're back.
All right, so this is FaZe Jev, and he's talking. This stuck out to me. I don't know what it's about, other than the title, and he talks about how gaming is doomed. So we'll see what he has to say.
All right, what's going on, guys? It's Chev. We're back here over on some more Modern Warfare 3. Today we're just grinding a little bit. I don't want to play Stash House. Nope. Xbox today announced internally it is closing 4 Bethesda studios 3 years after acquiring the company Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roadhouse. Yeah, people seem very upset at this. Xbox taking the EA route. Yeah, that's kind of what people were afraid of. See, I remember when I was growing up, I was always playing a whole lot of video games like my entire life. And I remember that my grandmother would always say like, oh, since you love video games so much, why don't you go and make them yourself, you know? Why don't you get involved with like the development and all that shit? As much as I love video games, I have no interest whatsoever of being a dev. Would I rather be a dev or work at a desk job at like some shit that just like doesn't even really matter? Passion versus no passion? I guess I'd rather be a dev, but I would get my feelings hurt as a developer. Like easily I would get my feelings hurt. I know the stuff that I say about developers and their games and other things like that, my experience, and it's not even just that. I would have to like sit there and hold my tongue at people saying. If people got mad at the Helldiver developers for talking you're lucky I'm not a dev. I would talk mad. See, back then when I was thinking about game development, I'm thinking about like
The thing is with game development, it's like You gotta be good, man.
code, and it's not
gotta
what
be
you
good.
think it is. There's a lot more to it than
Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I have a cool idea for a game and I'm just gonna talk and then the game's gonna happen and it'll be great. No, you have to understand. You have to be smart, man. You got to understand how to code, be good at math, and
just like, oh, I have an engine, and then I place
Correct.
this block here, and this is just how it doesn't work like that.
Now
And
with Unreal, it's getting easier.
then it was like, oh, you could become a game tester. That was one of the things that was like really popular at the time. They had commercials for it and everything where like you could test video games. But obviously I never chased that or anything like that. It didn't seem like a crazy job or anything. But now, since I'm looking at it, even being in like the higher developer status, number one, you're not safe. Number two, you still don't get paid very much for how much work you do. And number three, you're completely expendable. I was actually touching on this when I was talking about how it feels to be a Call of Duty player and have to deal with the fact.
Yeah, but in fairness, at a lot of jobs, you're not always safe. I mean, it is higher risk. He's right, like pointing at that. But I mean, I would say, yeah, I don't think you're ever truly safe. There's always a chance that you get let go.
Fact that there's 3 different studios, or technically 4 different studios with 4 different design philosophies working on a game that you actively play, and it feels weird a lot of the time because you end up getting a lot of whiplash. Even though the game at base is generally the same, the philosophies and designs and stuff like that change a lot. Every single year for Call of Duty as an annual release game with, I mean, admittedly is pretty high quality in the end, and to be able to produce a game like this year over year is pretty impressive. Requires a whole lot of coordination, manpower, all that stuff. Tons of talent, even if the game ends up being shit overall. And the way that they're able to just shit these things out every single year is very impressive. And not to mention, all of that manpower is also not consistent manpower. Yeah, we got people that are in good positions that'll be like in a leadership role, but every single year we're worried about Call of Duty not having the same qualities that the last one did, or the year before that. We're sitting here worried about whether or not a game is going to have the same feature that it had last time. I think that's a combination of the fact that we have multiple studios that all have different design philosophies. But on top of that, not only does it have different design philosophies, it also has a massive revolving door of developers that are just a part of the teams to begin with. So I'm trying.
Well, that was part of the problem with Halo Infinite, is they contracted out so much of the work, and so it's just all these piecemeal pieces coming together, and then when ish hit the fan, it was like, oh, do we just call these contractors back and be like, hey, come back, we need your help again. It's a disaster. Whereas I think if you look at Larian, Baldur's Gate, it's like, I think there is a bit more longevity in that studio from employees, so they can build on the foundations and the vision that they already had.
Trying to think, if I'm a brand new developer that just randomly gets hired at, say, Infinity Ward or some shit like that. I've never worked on a Call of Duty game before, but they got it down to a T and they know how to go and make one from scratch. But all of the details in that process end up getting lost because even though it's technically the same design and everything, it's going to be made slightly differently. Kind of like if you have a tutorial on how to draw something and you have a bunch of different talented artists, they won't ever draw it exactly the same. Even the same artist won't draw shit the exact same way every single time. So because it's a revolving door of talent that come in and out, there's more and more inconsistencies that happen with all of the features in the games. I want to play video games, not create. I have zero interest in that shit. I would be better suited for something like a community manager role, but even then, I still don't want that. I'm just saying, if I had to be somewhere in this whole industry, community manager would probably be the closest thing that I could ever possibly do. Number one, I would just get fired for talking shit, and then also number two, I would also get fired because the roles just aren't permanent. They never are. Your talents are just thrown all around, all over the place. No matter how good or successful you are at your job, it won't matter. You're just gonna get tossed around and thrown somewhere else. You're replaceable. There's a million of you. There's nothing special about me whatsoever. That's how you're treated. Even if in truth, you actually do have some pretty...
I don't know if that's completely true at every studio. I mean, I can't say. I've never worked for him. And I don't know if he has, but I gotta believe that there are studios that don't just treat people like everyone like crap. I don't think so.
Exceptional skills that are...
I think he's generalizing
special.
Too much
they don't
there.
see it. They don't care. It doesn't matter. This shit is absolutely miserable. I'm gonna shoot down all my streaks so quickly. It's disgusting. Whenever I get into a sweaty lobby, there's just no way that my streaks just never survive. So I think I'm actually going to change these. I don't know what to change them into, though. I could go back to the whole remote turn. Obviously, I could go with the Wheelson, but the Wheelson is so cheese. It's not cool. The gameplay's terrible. It's just, yeah, nah, I don't like it. Go with the Cluster Mine, but the Cluster Mine really only benefits mostly on shipment. I mean, it works on all these maps, I guess, but I could go UAV, counter UAV into
Leon,
remote
what's
turret,
up?
and that's it. But it might get less kills. So, for example, one of the studios that actually did really well in recreating the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 game. The Tony Hawk games have lost their identity ever since, like, I don't know, like Project 8 or so. They tried to follow Skate when they should have just stuck to their own arcadey thing instead of trying to follow Skate with the whole, like, slow motion and, like, try to have some realism in the skateboarding or whatever. Even though we know ultimately Skate is not
Tony Hawk 1+2 was freaking one of the best games remakes ever. Love that game so much.
Necessarily realistic either, but like the way that the buttons feel and respond and just the way that it is, Tony Hawk games were considered arcadey, whereas Skate games were considered a little bit more on the realistic side. It's not a bad thing to be arcade or a bad thing to be a realistic or anything like that, but basically for years Tony Hawk games ended up losing their identity overall with the way that the just arcadey elements of everything completely function. And they finally ended up being able to find a group of developers that actually made a real arcade Tony Hawk game, and then that whole team got disbanded to make I'm sorry, but they got disbanded to make fucking Crash Bandicoot. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about Crash. They closed the whole studio to move them over and smush them into some shit that develops.
Yeah, that was really sad.
It's like Spyro the Dragon and shit. Fuck off. Now, they didn't lose their jobs or anything like that, but clearly the people that ended up working on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes knew what they were doing and had a passion for it. And now those people that actually have the formula, that know and understand it, they no longer are even put on a team anymore that is even interested in making some shit like that again. So it's gone. Basically, once they closed that, really I had so much hope that they would end up actually bringing the classic Tony Hawk feel back. They finally captured that lightning in a bottle again, and then they just disband that whole team and put them elsewhere to work on some shit that they're not even half as passionate about. You could put down a cookbook in front of two people.
He's right, man. It was lightning in a bottle, and I think the potential was there. I think a lot of people were playing Tony Hawk, but
tell them to go and make the same exact thing, follow it completely to a T, and somehow in the end, you will still end up tasting these small little differences between the way that the people made them. You can make them identically, and somehow in the end it will end up tasting worse. I feel like that's how video games are as well. Just most creation processes. You can have everything down on a list for all the developers to go and follow everything that was like the most popular shit in all of the Call of Duties, the most well-approved, most well-liked thing. They still won't be able to produce it the same exact way that they did before. And you could argue that that's just them trying to innovate or something like that, but in truth, it's not. Like with how slide canceling would be different, or how it feels. It's such a small little thing, and it seems simple, but for some reason it feels completely different from year to year, and on other games that on paper react the same way. That's how it is with developers whenever they're making games. There's like this touch of nuance to the way that a game feels, other than saying what is happening just down on paper. And this whole industry is just a revolving door of people just getting used and then tossed out, thrown somewhere else. Your talents are just shifted and thrown all over the place. You can never really get comfortable, and even if you do well, some people be like, oh, well, just make good games. Make a successful game. They have. We just watched entire teams that made potential Game of the Year contenders and award winners get laid off / split into a different completely.
Just because it's a good game doesn't mean that it's making a ton of money, and doesn't mean that a lot of people are playing it. So Hi-Fi Rush, people are saying, you know, they did everything right. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yes, but also if it would have been a cash cow for the company, they wouldn't be getting cut right now. So yes, it's good, but it's not it's just not good enough, right? So just purely take emotions out of it, business perspective. If Hi-Fi Rush is a cash cow, like everyone says it, or you know, everyone says it's so great and all this stuff, if it truly is that, they wouldn't cut it. But there's something there, and my guess is in the numbers and the money. It wasn't bringing in money. And you know, say what you want about the state of the game industry, live service, blah blah blah. That's a whole nother discussion. But the reality is it's not bringing in the money.
Different genre of games where those people's talents won't even be recognized in the whatever project they're working on now. And the more money that got into this industry, the worse it's gotten. Not even just like talking about battle passes or something like that. I mean down to like just the way that the games and even how the developers feel when they're making the game. There's just
That's true. I think he's right.
it's way less passion in this shit, I swear. Like indie devs are the only people that you feel like there's actually
No, I think there's passion in the developers of big studios too, but they've gotten so big, right? It's gotten so big. There's so many people, so much red tape that these big companies, they just get in their own way, and they can't be nimble. They can't pivot, and they're just bogged down. And so, yeah, no, I think it's pretty you're generalizing to say that, like, let's say use Blizzard. People at Blizzard don't have passion, right? Like, I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I think a lot of devs are very passionate at these big studios, and a lot of them are like, hey, it's my dream to work at one of these studios. It'd be amazing. But they're so big that it bogs down their efficiency, it bogs down their decision making, it bogs down their ability to be creative and nimble and think on their feet and make the best decisions.
Passion involved. And then even if you end up getting a team that seems really passionate and they're backed by like big group, those people are still completely powerless to the powers above them. Shit just sucks.
Exactly.
Today we're speedrunning through Pokemon Blue, which is going...
And there's that stupid setting again. Okay. You said you can turn it off. Should be a switch with a play button on it in the bottom right corner left side. Playback. Speed. No. How do I turn this off? Great video, by the way. How do I stop this from being like this? PlayStation wishes they were us. Look, I'll be honest with you, man. There's not a lot of games on PlayStation that I'm like, oh, I want to get a PlayStation and play that next to the captions. I don't see it. Ambient mode? I don't know. Oh, it's not there for me. Huh. Huh. Weird.
If you're anything like I...
Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, Spider-Man is all PlayStation, has Xbox that doesn't. Has that Xbox doesn't. So if I was to choose, I would choose Xbox. Yeah, but even Spider-Man, I'm like, Spider-Man doesn't look that great. Yeah, there's just not a lot there. For me, personally. Alright, let me see if I can figure it out. What should we play, guys? Should we play something? We got Diablo, Golf, Halo. I don't have Red Dead Redemption. I need to get it, though. I need to get it. Settings. Playback. Subtitles. I don't know, how do I figure this out here? Somebody's do YouTube tests from people's accounts. Ugh. No wonder I'm like looking in all my settings. I can't find nothing. What makes a game better? Audio, graphics, or story? Story. Story all day, every day, forever and ever and ever and ever. Not even a competition. And here's how you can tell. You ready? Here's how you can tell. A game can have great audio, great graphics, but a bad story, it'll be a bad game. It can have good audio, bad graphics, bad story, it's not a good game. It can have great audio, bad graphics, bad story, not a good game. However, on the flip side, if it has a good story, it can have bad graphics, bad audio, still be a good game. It can have, if it has a great story and it has good graphics but bad audio, it can still be a good game. But they all fall if the story's bad. If there's nothing compelling happening, it's just not gonna work. Brian Chief with the bottom of the barrel IQ. Xbox is trash. Give me a reason. Sup, dude? All right. I saw this and it piqued my interest here. Did Nintendo lie to us? It's about the Nintendo 64. Probably a lot of you guys don't know what the Nintendo 64 is, but it was a game console that came out in like 1990. Yeah, I'm great. 1996, I want to say. All right, let's check. We're gonna check the database right here. All right, we're gonna check the database and see if I was right. If it came out in 1996. Here we go. Fifth generation. Where is it? Oh, it might have been 95. Nintendo 64. Where's Nintendo 64? Oh, no, I was right. There it is. 1996. You can't see it, but it says 1996. N64 is old news. Dreamcast is the future. That's true. Where does this end? I think this ends on 9th generation. Yeah, Xbox Series X 2020. Xbox Series X is 4 years old already? That's insane. That is insane. Insane. All right, let's see what this is about. Feel free to weigh in. Let me know your thoughts on the video. This is Did Nintendo Lie to Us?
7 years ago, Nintendo would launch the N64, and in my opinion, it's one of the most important consoles ever released. Why? Well, simply because, if you compare Nintendo hardware to its competition, traditionally, they were never one to focus on having the most powerful hardware. Their focus was always about offering their customers the best gaming experiences, and bringing new experiences with each iteration of their popular franchises. But the Nintendo 64's launch would change all that. The hype.
Fun fact, Wave Race 64, this game that he's playing right here, is probably in my top 3 games of all time, almost exclusively because of the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to this game. It just hits a special, scratches a special part of my brain.
Surrounding the console was out of this world. Nintendo's goal was to give players the very best graphics available on a home console and offer the very first 3D games on Nintendo hardware. And to achieve this, Nintendo would famously partner with Silicon Graphics, a long-term leader in graphics computing who were looking to get into the consumer market by adapting its supercomputing technology to video games and bringing high-end 3D graphics for the very first time to Nintendo hardware.
Dude,
Silicon Graphics workstations
I remember when these graphics like came out, people were like looking at Mario running around 3D. We were flipping out, dude.
Were quite popular in Hollywood in the 90s and early 2000s, responsible for special effects in movies such as Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, Toy Story, and The Matrix, just to name a few. And the promise of these 3D visuals coming to a home console for the very first time was a mouth-watering proposition. But did Nintendo actually deliver on their promises, or was it just a bunch of hype and not much more? To answer this, we need to go all the way back to 1993.
What do you mean? Of course they delivered.
In August of 1993, Silicon Graphics and Nintendo would announce their partnership to bring the Silicon Graphics technology to Nintendo's new console that would be codenamed Project Reality. We have always said we would only introduce new hardware when it delivers dramatically improved value for our customers. Nintendo's Project Reality dissolves the current limits of video play, causing the world to challenge its notion of what a video game can be. It was the 90s and buzzwords were all the rage. Silicon Graphics would label this technology the Reality Immersion Technology. This would essentially combine a 64-bit MIPS CPU, a MIPS coprocessor, and an embedded software layer. This would make up the pieces that would drive Project Reality. It is the first time MIPS RISC technology will be used in the video entertainment industry, providing the power previously only available in high-end PCs and workstations. These high-end SGI workstations had a going price of anywhere between $100,000 to up to $250,000. The rollout for Project Reality would be in arcades in 1994 and available on Nintendo's new console in 1995 for the very low price of $250. And for many people, getting Silicon Graphics hardware in the living room of your house is almost something of dreams. By 1994, the hype levels for Project Reality were off the chain. Silicon Graphics and Nintendo would showcase their hardware at various trade shows. The first would be CES in Las Vegas in 1994. They would show off tech demos that the Project Reality hardware was capable of. Now, there's a little bit of confusion about these tech demos and how they were run, but as far as I know, they were running in real time on SGI Iris Indigo hardware, and the configuration of the hardware was said to be a close approximation to what we would expect to see on Project Reality Final Retail. The Shark tech demo is probably one of the ones that you've already seen, definitely one of the most famous ones, and this one was showing off trilinear MIP mapping in 1994.
Looks like an N64
game. In 1994, trilinear MIP mapping required significant processing power. The other demo, the City Skyline demo, showed off a panoramic fly-through of a city skyline, and both of these demos for the time were quite jaw-dropping. There was also a lot of hype in magazines who were on board with Project Reality, showing off pre-rendered images of what could be possible on Nintendo's next generation. Picture this on your TV from a 1993 GamePro, showing the possibilities of new hardware. But it wasn't just the magazines. Jim Clark, founder and chairman of Silicon Graphics, famously said the following.
Project Reality is like putting the combined computing power of hundreds of PCs together. Simply stated, there will be no other video game system like it.
Howard Lincoln, then president of Nintendo of America, said, "Our work with Silicon Graphics enables us to actually skip a generation by driving straight through to true 64-bit 3D video entertainment. Nintendo's Project Reality dissolves the current limits of video play, causing the world to challenge its notion of what a video game can be." By the summer of 1994, Nintendo and Silicon Graphics presented their hardware, now known as the Nintendo Ultra 64, at CES in Chicago. However, the new 64-bit system was only shown to select persons at a private invitational event. Nintendo did indeed deliver on what they said and offered 2 arcade games in 1994, Cruising USA and Killer Instinct, with Killer Instinct even advertising the home version would be coming exclusively to Ultra 64 hardware in the homes in 1995.
Great games. Rareware, baby.
Available for your home in 1995, only on Nintendo Ultra 64.
However, both Killer Instinct and Cruising USA had little to do with Nintendo Ultra 64 hardware at all. The reality immersion technology was simply not used, and yet Killer Instinct proudly boasted the game would be coming to home consoles the following year. That never happened, as we know. Instead, Nintendo and Rare would release Killer Instinct Gold, which was an exclusive title based on Killer Instinct 2. This would include the arcade's release characters, combos, 3D pre-rendered environments, but it did not include the full motion video sequences and some voiceovers, and this was due to the cartridge media format that would be the preferred choice over CD-ROM technology. Cruising USA was the other title that was said to be running on Ultra 64 hardware.
These graphics still
However,
hold
a
up.
few months later, Nintendo of America chairman Howard Lincoln admitted that Cruising USA was actually programmed before the MIP CPU console version of the Ultra 64 tools were even available. The cabinet shown at CES was actually running on the Midway V-Unit arcade hardware, which has almost nothing to do with Nintendo Ultra 64 hardware at all. Fans were also quite puzzled that at that very same CES show, Nintendo did indeed show it with Silicon Graphics technology, but not on the Ultra 64. Instead, a Super NES game, which would be Donkey Kong Country. And while that game, for all intents and purposes, is an absolute classic that really showed up some amazing pre-rendered visuals, fans wanted more of the Ultra 64, and something was starting to feel off. 1995 would be a tough year for Nintendo, with mostly radio silence. However, the magazine articles would keep coming with hype and promises of tens of millions of polygons on screen, and even Nintendo hand-waving CD technology of its competitors as slow and a waste of money. But it would be these competitors, namely Sony and Sega, who would launch their 3D-based game consoles, the PlayStation and Saturn respectively, and Nintendo all of a sudden was in a very different position. The PlayStation especially launched strong, and it seemed like Nintendo and SGI's promises were fading into thin air. Finally, in November of 1995, Nintendo would show...
I have a goal to actually collect one of every color Xbox controller and have them up in my office one day. One day. There's more than this. There's the translucent ones too. One day we'll get there.
Show off the Ultra 64 to the public. The first order of business was to announce the name of the hardware had changed from Ultra 64 to just Nintendo 64. Nintendo would show off 2 playable games, Kirby Bowl 64 and Super Mario 64, and fans were once again excited. Mario 64 especially impressed everyone with its
Mario
seamless
64.
3D worlds and platforming. However, the hardware would be delayed until its ultimate launch in 1996. This would represent a major milestone for Nintendo and Silicon Graphics. They would keep their promise of bringing the SGI technology to the home, and even below budget at $199.
Xbox or N64 controller? Ooh, that's a tough one. For playing, Xbox 100%. But for like collecting an aesthetic, probably N64. You're not lonely. Relax, everything. Relax.
As for the hardware itself, the MIPS VR4300 was clocked at 94 MHz and could manage 125 MIPS or millions of instructions per second. The Reality coprocessor was a system on a chip that combined the Reality display processor for its graphical capabilities as well as the Reality signal processor, and this would be the heart of what made the Nintendo 64 so unique. The graphics processing would feature anti-aliasing, trilinear MIP mapping, Z-buffering, perspective correction, environmental mapping, and even a completely programmable GPU via microcode. Other features included frame buffer effects, level of detail, and even real-time lighting. Many of these features would become the basis of modern 3D and features that are still...
Have you guys ever played Banjo-Kazooie? It's a great game. I highly recommend it. If you've never played it before, figure out a way and play it.
Applied even to this day. The Nintendo 64 ran at a fairly low resolution, however, of just 320 by 240. Now, while there were some games that took advantage of high resolutions, this low resolution coupled with anti-aliasing and trilinear filtering meant that many games would often look blurry or muddy. To add to this, the Nintendo 64 had a big limitation of only a 4KB texture cache. This meant that many textures that were used in games were often quite low resolution. Compare that to the high-end Silicon Graphics workstations that were rendering visuals at much larger resolutions. You can see why some people were disappointed by the visuals output on the N64. But even with all this, the Nintendo 64 undoubtedly could pull off some stunning visual effects. Many believed that was simply not possible on the PlayStation or Saturn, and one that comes to mind is the water effect of Wave Race 64.
Look at that.
And there are many other instances of impressive visual effects found in Nintendo 64 games. In fact, the Nintendo 64 was simply unmatched by any commercial hardware until around 1998 when the 3D Effects Voodoo 2 came out. And incidentally, by 1999, with a fast PC, you could emulate Nintendo 64 games with a 3D Effects Voodoo 2. But the games themselves were unique and developed for the hardware in mind, and some of the very best games were made for the Nintendo 64, and for good reason. The hardware was very capable of pulling off some amazing things. The difficulty was developing for that hardware. Many developers would talk about the complexity of the Nintendo 64. However, studios such as Rare and Factor 5 would extract the very best from the hardware. Silicon Graphics and Nintendo did finally deliver what they promised. We were just spoiled for years of magazine articles and videos and high-res visuals and effects from the team that provided stunning Hollywood-style effects in blockbuster movies. And somehow, we all were led to believe it. But the reality is, other than the arcade hardware, which was clearly not running on Ultra 64 hardware at all, and some absurd promises that were made both by Silicon Graphics and Nintendo, they ultimately delivered what they promised. But that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Were you around during the days of the Nintendo 64 and all the hype surrounding it?
I was around. However, a lot of people... This was when the Super Mario 64, when the N64 came out, social media didn't exist. The internet was barely a thing. I mean, barely even a thing. Most people in their houses didn't even have internet. Okay? And so all this talk around, well, the N64 and its hardware and blah, 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 like, you could only read that in like magazines, and most people weren't subscribed to every single gaming magazine, getting them all delivered to your house, right? Like the average kid, the average gamer, you just didn't have access to like really any of the information, any of the hype. You just kind of like when you went to the store, you saw like a flyer for it, or you like a friend from school would bring a gaming magazine. You know, and that's just how you got your information. It's just the only way you knew what was going on with anything. So anyways, cool, good video. Give it a give it a like, give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate when people share all that deep information that I know nothing about and learn about. How many of you guys eat? There's a fly. Do you guys eat fast food? Do you guys want to watch a video about fast food? Do any of you eat fast food ever? I'm pretty sure that's where the name Mips the rabbit came from. Probably. I'm sure it does. All right, we'll watch this. This guy, report of the week. He does awesome food reviews, fast food reviews. Bro Gamer from Halo Reach was nice. Also, yes, and sure. Sure. He does fast food reviews, and they're all really great. And he's talking about there's a big problem with fast food, and I want to see if it's the same thing that I've noticed. Okay? Here we go. Give me your thoughts in the chat.
Hello, everyone. This is Running on Empty.
It's a nice painting.
Food review.
It's a nice woodwick candle, too.
Hello,
He's got two of them.
ladies, gentlemen, and
He's got the normal woodwick candle right here, and he's also got a boat. It's like this shape, and it has, I think, 3 wicks in it, and they make noise when you burn them. And he's also got some McDonald's, too.
Everyone watching, welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty food review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. So this is one of those points, and this happens from time to time, where essentially there's that sort of space between any sorts of major new releases from any sorts of major establishments, and in this sort of more quiet span, I'm more inclined to essentially just, if there's anything that I'm personally interested in or that I might find, of interest or have a curiosity, and I might give it a shot.
Right.
So this is sort of, I don't want to call it a comparative analysis, but it is something that I was thinking about. I actually did get a few requests for it, and I thought it would be interesting anyway, especially with 2 things. Number one, most importantly, of course, are there any major differences? But number 2, the factor of consistency. And that's something that I'll get to in a moment. So McDonald's, and for those of you who are regular viewers, you already know this, they have recently released a lineup of chicken sandwiches, particularly the Cajun...
McCrispy?
Or the Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy chicken sandwiches.
Right.
A few days ago, I tried out the Deluxe McCrispy chicken sandwich, and I thought it was actually pretty good. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and I was actually very impressed by it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be, and again, it was just something that was a very pleasant surprise. In addition to the Deluxe sandwich, though, they've heavily been promoting the non-Deluxe, just the regular McCrispy chicken sandwich as well. And again, since things have been pretty quiet, I thought, why not? Let's try it out, see how good it is, and how, if at all, it compares to the Deluxe McCrispy chicken sandwich. So today I'll be reviewing the Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy sandwich. It's available at the price of anywhere between $6 and $8.
Jeez!
I paid around $6 for this sandwich.
That's so expensive.
And here's what's on it. It features a Southern-style chicken fillet, applewood smoked bacon, pickles, and then on the top and bottom bun, it features a creamy Cajun ranch sauce. And again, the difference between this sandwich and the Deluxe is that the Deluxe sandwich also comes with lettuce and tomato, so it's more of a complete chicken sandwich, whereas this one just has the pickles, the bacon, the sauce, and the chicken. So it doesn't have as many toppings and features.
Right.
I just thought, well, it'd be interesting to see how it compares.
Sure.
But here's the thing, though, as well, consistency. The last one that I got was really good, and I was impressed by the freshness and the fact that it actually resembled the ad, and the Southern-style chicken fillet quite resembled the original Southern-style chicken sandwich that McDonald's had a good number of years ago.
Mm.
So being that the original, what am I even saying, being that the deluxe sandwich was quite good, I'm interested in seeing, okay, since the components are the same, essentially, technically speaking, this should also be pretty decent.
Correct.
But it's going to be interesting to try out. I'm just personally curious. They're really promoting both sandwiches. Again, I got a few requests to try them out, so I thought, what the heck. Let's make this a pretty
Wow, he has 2
straightforward,
boats.
Review.
3
Some
Woodwick
people were wondering,
candles.
They're saying, I don't really want to get it with the lettuce and tomato, so how does it taste without it? So I thought, what the heck. Got it right here. Again, between $6 and $8. And I really enjoyed.
What are we working with? What are we working with? Show us.
Reference, so. Comes in this little pouch. Flavors. To love.
I thought it said flavors
it's
of
interesting.
love.
The last one came in a box. I don't know if that's just a matter of availability or what.
Oh, that bun
but
looks
this comes
good.
more in like the standard chicken sandwich, pouch that a lot of places serve.
Grilled bun.
Okay, so here it is.
Oh, yeah.
I could see the sauce and the pickle right there. This is more like a standard, I guess, chicken sandwich. Some of the bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Filet. And as the name implies, that ranch sauce
See you later,
is
Louis.
supposed to have a bit of spice to it.
That looks fire.
There isn't any sauce on the bottom bun this time. They're supposed to be, but I guess they didn't bother. There's the top bun. You can see the pickles and again the bacon strip. I don't know how well it's in focus, but I'd wager you can see it.
Oh, we can see it.
And again, just a little assessment just to see how good this one is. Really liked the last one, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one tastes. The Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy Sandwich from McDonald's. It's going in.
It's going in. What kind of a bite was that? What kind of a bite was that? Come on, man. You gotta, I see you eyeing it. Come on. Come on. Good bite, good bite, good bite. There you go. What, do you have soft teeth or something? What are we doing here? It barely looks like he even bit it. If he eats the entire burger like the sandwich like that, it's going to take like 10 hours.
So if you were sitting here and you were essentially thinking to yourself, boy, his bites look stupider than they even normally do.
Yeah?
Why exactly is that? There is a reason this time around. And it's not a good reason either. By that, I wish I could just say, oh, it's just the way that it is. So, it's disappointing. And it's tough. And I'm just going to have to try to say it to the best of my ability, as it is. Essentially, as I was eating this sandwich, I immediately noticed a difference in the chicken fillet. The last one that I had, the deluxe, that is, was solid. The chicken was the star of the show. That was the highlight. And what really impressed me with it was the fact that the chicken was tender, it was juicy, it was flavorful, but most importantly, it tasted exactly like the Southern style chicken sandwich that they had probably back in 2010 or so. Now, you would think, well, the components are the same, right? This is the same sandwich, sans lettuce and tomato. So, technically speaking, it should be just as good, right? I was optimistic. I thought, well, I know what the base already tastes like, so I'm in for a treat. I thought, okay, maybe the ranch isn't on the top and bottom bun like they said it was going to be, but so what? It's still on the sandwich. That's not too big of a deal. This stuff happens, right? It's not
right.
It's not a cause for concern, essentially.
No, exactly.
And then I take a bite. I've had this problem before. I've run into it so often. And it's going to tie into a point that I need to establish, both about these reviews, but fast food as a whole. I take a bite, and the chicken quality is immediately subpar.
Yeah.
In the last review, I was able to bite into it, and it was fine. Again, tender, it was juicy, it was flavorful. I take a bite into this, and it's tough. I have to rip it apart, essentially. I'm pulling at it, and it's a sort of tearing apart. It's dry.
Yeah, it's no good. That's crap.
Essentially overcooked.
And you pay.
And while
$6
there are those
for that?
elements still of that southern style chicken fillet, the quality of the chicken itself is far, far lower than what I experienced in the last review.
Yep.
Even if the base is the same, the quality of this chicken is...
But here's the thing. Here's the thing is they like fast food since 2020, COVID just broke people, and there's no standard of excellence anymore. At all. There's no standard of excellence for fast food unless you're Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Cane's. There's only a few select. I could probably count them on one hand, maybe two, that actually care about the quality. I went to Taco Bell what was it? Yeah, yesterday. And I was driving through with Katie, and I always check my bag. When I go through drive-through, I always check the bag. And I just ordered a simple box, it has a little taco, chalupa, burrito, and chips or whatever. And we go through, we pay like $20 for both of us to eat there at Taco Bell and get the food, and we're starting to pull out after I get my card back, and I say, hold on, don't leave yet. I'm checking the bag. We got to check and make sure everything is in here. And I'm like, oh, what'd you order? She's like, I just ordered this one thing. I'm like, okay, let me check. Boom, boom, boom. And sure enough, they literally didn't have a burrito in there. And I'm like, bro, what are we even talking about? So I'm like, yep, go park at the front. I'll run in. I'll take care of it. And I go in. I'm like, hey, guys, I just went through the drive-thru, and you're missing this part of my order. Here's the receipt. Here's the bag. Nothing's in there. And the guy's like, oh, okay, hold on. As if he didn't just take my order in the drive-thru. He didn't just hand me this food. And then he grabs the manager. What's going on? Can I help you? Here's the receipt. Didn't get my food that I paid for. I'm missing this item. Can I get it, please? And she's like, oh, yeah. We're working on it right over here. I'm like, well, why did I get out of my car? Why'd you hand me the bag and tell me, see you later? Like, give me a break. All that to say, fast food since 2020 has gone downhill. I mean, a drop off a cliff. I don't even go to Burger King anymore. I used to love going there.
Is it acceptable?
Oh, yeah, I remember the dollar menu.
I couldn't even call it that. Is it edible, though? I.e., if I were forced, through one means or another...
It's barely edible. That's the thing. Some fast food now is barely edible.
You have to eat this, could I? Yeah. But is it something that one should find acceptable? Let me go fork over $6 for this. I don't find that acceptable.
No.
To have some chicken fillet that you have to just rip apart and gnaw at, and the only source of moisture in this time around, is in that ranch sauce. That's not good.
Nope. It's terrible.
You know, the thing that really made the last sandwich was the base. The thing that really made it a good sandwich, that the reason why it got that 8.5 out of 10 rating was that Southern style chicken fillet.
Right.
This is an item that hinges on a certain ingredient and the quality thereof to be a success or a failure.
Right.
And if that Southern style chicken fillet is good, I could assuredly say that the quality of the sandwich, therefore, is going to be good. But if the quality is subpar, which it is in this case, I would be willing to say that it was overcooked, unfortunately. And I've had this problem before. I've had it with McDonald's.
Yep.
I've had it with Wendy's. I've had it with Burger King, etc.
Yeah, Burger
And then
King
that is
is
going
so
to
far
directly
gone.
correlate to whether or not this is even worth the time of day on or not. And that leads me to another point.
Make it.
Because in this case, the chicken was subpar. It wasn't enjoyable. Yeah, I could taste the bacon. Bacon was all right. The pickles were okay. And the ranch sauce was pleasant. There's a nice lasting spice to it. If the chicken were better, this would be a decent sandwich overall. And in your case, maybe it will be better. But here's the thing. When I do these reviews, I have
later,
to
gamer.
take consistency into account. And the thing about it is obviously, well, how can you necessarily predict consistency? You can't.
Right, you can't.
As a result...
You can, though, with these places, like Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Cane's, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, consistency is there. It is there. I'm very surprised when something bad happens with my order at any of those places. It's just pretty rare. So I wouldn't say it's like impossible or never happened, but it is way rare. Whereas like McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, any of these like normal joints, bro, I'm 100% checking the bag. I don't trust them at all. At all.
I have to just make an assessment based on what I get. Because otherwise, there's no point in really doing a review.
True.
If, well, all right, I'm just going to go now to another one and then another one until I get a desirable result, then what's the point in even doing a review?
Exactly.
If I'm just going to sit there and try to cherry pick things
He's exactly
until
right.
I get a good outcome.
Right, you can't do that.
There's no point to that. So when I do these videos, I essentially will review whatever it is that I get, and that's absolute. That's where things stand.
As it should be.
But that leaves me to one more thing. The consistency issue itself. Truth be told, yes, there's always going to be mistakes. There's always going to be screw-ups. There's always going to be these times where things go awry. And that's understandable. That's just the way that it is. But I do notice it happen more and more and more.
Yes.
Where you can go to McDonald's one day, and this goes for any chain, not just McDonald's, pretty much any fast food chain. And you go there one day, you get this sandwich, and it's great. It's excellent. You think, wow, this is really good. I'm going to add it to my repertoire. I'm going to go and I'm going to get it again. And sure enough,
Add it
let's
to
say a
my
week passes,
repertoire.
you decide to go over to McDonald's, get the same sandwich, and
Imagine having a fast food repertoire.
now there's some issue with the chicken fillet, and it's abysmally
Everyone drop your McDonald's order in the chat.
bad. And this is happening more and more, I've noticed. Yeah, it's fast food. It's always happened, but I happen to notice this, and I see people noticing it as well, bringing this issue up more and more frequently, that the consistency is getting worse and worse and worse.
So
to the
true.
point now where the variability from even one visit to the next, when it's the exact same item, is now getting so great that you can't, nothing is guaranteed at this point.
Exactly.
And this,
That's
I
why
think,
I
is a
always
good
check.
example of it, sadly, where it shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't. And it's such a shame that you have this base, and you can't even count on it to be any good at this point. It should be. When I got it last week, this sandwich was excellent. And now this time I get it, the chicken is horrible. And it's
It's a
just a
shame.
reflection, I think, of the state of the fast food industry.
It is.
A lot of people
100%.
have raised this problem, and I'm going to raise it again.
Do.
Consistency is key. And that
The thing is, we have to stop eating there. I know it sucks, but like we have to stop going to these places if they mess up our orders a bunch. Like, we got to go somewhere else. Go to a different place that doesn't screw up your order. Go to a different place that doesn't like mess things up. You're paying too much. We're paying too much to have like stuff screwed up like this. When I'm dropping $250 for me and my wife to just eat at Taco Bell, $25. Give me a break.
That is sorely lacking at this point right now. Very much so. Mistakes happen, I understand that, but when it's so frequent that
exactly
from one time to the next you can't even guarantee quality,
right,
when it should be, it's no wonder fewer and fewer people are even giving fast food a light of day. Why should they? Really, why should they?
Exactly.
And that's a serious problem that these fast food companies themselves need to address. They need to look at it. They need to think about it. But it's getting worse, in my opinion. Reviewing what I got, this sandwich, I'm just going to have to give the...
Fast food in California, where I'm at, is pretty bad. Like, they're bad. Where I was in Washington, it was actually decent and consistent. But I feel like where I'm at now, so bad. And I'm done. I'm not willing to... I go to fast food way less than I used to. Because it's more expensive and it's worse quality. So it's like, why? I'd rather go to the taco joint around the corner, get fresh, good tacos, support a local business, local family, and get bang for my buck, and it tastes great. So I'm really over fast food in a lot of ways.
The regular sandwich here, I mean, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 10, given the abysmal quality of the chicken. If you go there and it's better, then this would probably be an 8.5 out of 10 sandwich.
4.
But because of the
brutal,
consistency
scathing
or
review,
utter lack thereof, that's why I have to rate what I got, the rating that it has. These chains really need to sort this out, though. It's getting worse.
It's true. It is getting worse, and it might get worse before it gets better. That's the reality. Great video, great review. Make sure you check it out. He has tons. Report of the Week has tons of great videos and reviews about food and fast food and different things. Scathing, but honest. 100%. 100%. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it there. I need to take care of some stuff. I need to do some dishes and do some things around the house. But thanks for hanging out. Lil Tenet, everybody. Co, thanks for being a great mod. I might stream tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday turn up. We're going to have some fun. And, yeah, it'll be a great time. But anyways, love you guys. Be safe out there. Play a lot of video games, and we will chat soon. Talk to you later. Peace.